Good afternoon, bookworms. I come to you guys today with some disappointing news. So for the very first time in the last 5 or 6 years that I've been reading, I finally have come across the book that I've had to DNF. The book was J.P. Feathers' The Eldmoor series, and I just could not get into this book. There was something about this book that just wasn't right. I kind of felt like the book started you off in like the middle of a series, and it just started you off right in the middle of a series and introduced all these characters and all these events and didn't give you any of the backstory or history on how we got here. And I also feel like the book was written by like a 13 or 14-year-old boy, to be honest. Like I'm not trying to be mean, and I try to be nice in all of my reviews, but this book was just not written very well. There was a lot of things like with continuity and timing that I just couldn't grasp. It's like it says that she would wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and start training, and then after training she would go eat breakfast, and something would happen at breakfast, and then all of a sudden it's bedtime, and it's like, how is it bedtime already? This just happened at breakfast right now. How are you going to sleep? And the book was weird. And it didn't feel like it was the right fit for me. Maybe somebody out there will read that book and enjoy it, but for me personally, I could not get into it, and it's the very first book that I've had to DNF. And so that's J.P. Feathers, the Eldmoor series, and I don't want to come off as rude or anything, but this book was just not good. There was a lot of things wrong with this first book, and so I had a DNF, my very first time ever having to DNF a book. But after I put down finally, and it took that was a 2 or 3 day negotiation back and forth with myself, trying to figure out if I actually wanted to DNF a book for the first time. And I put it down and I picked it up the next day, and it was just like, no, it's still not doing any. And then I picked it up the next day, and it was just like, no, these problems persist throughout this book and throughout the few chapters that I was able to read through this book, and it was just bad. And so after I put down J.P. Feathers, the Eldmoor series, I went ahead and picked up Never Keep by the Twisted Sisters. Now, I've read all of the Zodiac Academy books and absolutely love them. I know they get a lot of flack on, the writing wasn't bad and they didn't like the dialogue. I love the Zodiac Academy series. And so I've been really excited about picking up the Never Keep by the Twisted Sisters. And also I know you got Echo Fort coming out in a few days, and so I had to dive into this book so that hopefully in a few days I can get Echo Fort and continue on in the series. I've got a lot of hopes for this book because, like I said, I've read all the Zodiac Academy series books and absolutely love them. And so I kind of know how the Twisted Sisters like to write. And so J.P. Eldmoor's book, I can't rate it. Very first book I had a DNF. Next up, I've got The Never Keep by the Twisted Sisters, Caroline Peckham and Susan Valente. I'll let you guys know how that goes. In the meantime, let's get out there and carpe some Librum, bookworms.